Okay, well, let's start this party. We're going to have an incredible women's panel. We've had our first men's panel. We're going to have a women's panel. We can't have one without the other. These women have all been chosen for their expertise in their field. They are going to inspire us and teach us things. All right, I'm going to say your name. Go ahead and wave or put up an emoji so people know who you are. We're going to come back and ask you to tell us who you are. So in the room on the panel, we have Carmel. All right, give us a wave. We have Pat. All right, Anahita. There you go. Hanging out with us all day. Mariki. Woo, give us a smile. And I see Glenn's here too. Nice. Melanie. There you go. And Therese. Is Therese with us today?
Therese isn't with us today, Deb.
Okay, cool. Okay, not cool, but we'll send her love. And we have Stacy Stevens. Is Stacy here?
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. And then we have Melanie Starr. Yeah. Are we waving? Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Awesome. Great. So my first question to you is let's get to know you. Please introduce yourself and please share with us what it is that you do. I mean, coaching, training, mentoring, there's so many vast topics within those categories. So tell us what it is that you do and what is it that you focus on and what led you to focus on that. So basically, what is it that you love? What took you to where you are and what is it that you do? So Carmel, let's start with you.
Ooh, right off the bat. Well, I'm Carmel Ecker.
You should have known better.
I should have known better I would be first. I am a gremlin tamer, and I love to teach other people to be gremlin tamers too. And the gremlins I'm referring to are, of course, the ones that are in our head. Everybody knows about the head gremlins. They're the ones that are talking when we feel negative emotions like anxiety and fear, anger, frustration, the baddies. And they tell us stories about our circumstances, about ourselves, and about others. And what they tell us does help us succeed in some ways, but they're actually a double-edged sword, which means that they have the power to hurt us as much as they help us. So getting to know them and understanding how to turn them into assets is really, really important to having good relationships and sustainable success and happiness. So that's my focus, is helping people get to a place of awareness and then all the goodness that comes from that. And then how I got here, just like so many entrepreneurs, what led me to this was my own experience. There is a long version to the story, but I'm going to cut to the short version, which I know you'll appreciate, Deb. So particularly, earlier in my life, I can see how my gremlins were running the show. And my most powerful gremlin is a pleaser. So I would overgive, say yes when I wanted to say no, pretend to be easygoing to avoid rocking the boat, and then be totally pissed off about it. So that's not awesome. I'm feeling resentful at people who have no clue as to what's going on so being totally unaware of that pleaser category, or the pleaser character rather, there's no room for me to use that beautiful statement that Stacey Hall shared with us this morning, that thank you for asking, that does not work for me. I just love that. And I have several versions of that I use on a regular basis. So I'm grateful that I have experienced this transformation in my life, and I'm really excited to be able to share it with others.
Thank you, Carmel. And if anyone doesn't know, Carmel is the podcast producer of 262. So now I'm going to take it to our host, our co-host of the day. She is also going to be joining this incredible panel. You've heard us talk about her for the last how many hours that we've been on here. So she's going to switch hats. She's going to take off her executive producer co-host, and she's going to come on as a coach, inspirational, and Dr. Melissa Balazan, the floor is yours.
Hi, Deb. Thank you. So for those of you who haven't been on, my name is Dr. Melissa Balazan. I am a concierge pharmacist. I'm an author, speaker, executive producer, and host of my new TV show, Vital. At my core, I focus on inspiration, whether it's from teaching babies and toddlers in Sunday school to mentoring young pharmacists, educating physicians and other healthcare workers, as well as the public. So over my years in healthcare, I saw how many people felt unheard, overwhelmed, and disconnected inside a fragmented healthcare system. I knew there had to be a better way. So, one thing that I have done is know that people get to need to be empowered and they need to use their voice and understand their choice. Take a simple step, sustainable step toward healing and progress. And so this led me to where I'm at today and my process of whole body health, learning between the physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional health. And we'll talk about a little bit more inspiration a little bit in a minute.
Awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Welcome to the panel. All right, Anahita.
Thank you, Deb. I'm honored to be here. I'm Anahita Shervini, founder of Ask Anahita Consulting, and I consider myself a tech partner to my clients' businesses. I help solo female entrepreneurs improve their online presence and their relationship with their technology. I do that with designing AI SEO optimized websites and digital systems and automations that feels aligned with their purpose and personality. And I also teach them how to use their technology effectively through my She Knows Her Tech program. And well, I lead a networking group for women entrepreneurs Canada-wide because community is as important as technology and strategy. And the reason I'm doing this is that I kept meeting brilliant women that they were holding back or delaying their success because tech felt overwhelming and they were lost and frustrated with tech. With my work, I empower them to use their technology effectively and take the confusion and frustration out of websites, funnels, and automations.
Thank you so much. Don't you find it really interesting when you start to become an entrepreneur and as you grow with that, the different needs and the vast amount of different coaches and trainers and mentors that we use for an immediate issue, a long-term issue, somewhere in between, or continue a relationship as our businesses grow. It's kind of one of the surprises, I think, that as the world changes, as we change, as we grow and build new divisions, we need to tap into different people's, zone of genius. So you actually start to create this incredible team. And talking about that, a woman who's on my incredible team that I'm so grateful and spent many years with beforehand as a friend. So it's always wonderful to have a really true biz ship as well, is Mariki. So please tell us what you're doing here and what do you focus on?
Thank you so much for having me here, Deb. And yes, I love being on your team and having you on my team. I think it is just a wonderful experience to be part of my client's team both ways. So my name is Mariki McMillan, for those of you that do not know, and as you can probably see by the banner beside me, I am the founder and the CEO of Macmillan Consulting. So that leaves it wide open to what do I do? My company, we are a fractional CFO company, which you might ask, why am I here as a mentor? So as a mentor, it became something that I did very organically. And if you say fractional CFO, yep, that says that we are the boring accountants. Not true. Not true. And that is exactly one of the reasons why I became a mentor. When I first wanted to study my designation, I looked at all the different designations that were out there. And I looked at being a CMA, which is a management accountant. And I looked at how I could mentor and encourage and coach people into becoming the better version of an accountant, giving them something a little bit more, because as accountants, we are typically being told we are just bean counters. But truly, we are so much more than just bean counters. And so frequently in this industry, people can get caught up with just exactly that. That they can go and sit in the corner, they can put their heads down, and trust me, we do need that to make sure that the work gets done. But we also need to make sure that they know that they have a personality, that they bring that to the game, because that makes part of who they are and the work. And that's how we work with clients. So today we actually provide not just fractional services, we actually provide talent as a service. And our company, in less than 2 years, we've built $1 million business as a result of this. And it's been very powerful to see how we can actually help people grow on a daily basis. And that is the focus that we want to make sure that not just we focus on within our business, but that our clients make sure that we focus on people first, because that's how we mentor and coach on a daily basis.
Thank you. It gives a whole different spin to the word about money, right? When you think of accounting, people first. And over to Pat. Thank you. Oh, hang on, Pat. We can't hear you, honey. You're not muted on our end. Do. We can't hear you. Why don't we do this? I'm going to go to someone. Come in on your phone. We can fix that problem. All right. Come in on your phone, and Desi, just let her in on her phone there. Stacy, how about over to you? Please share with us, introduce yourself, what it is that you do, and what is it that you focus on?
Deb, and hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. My name is Stacy Stevens. I am a lawyer, I am a speaker, I am an author, and I'm a mentor. Everybody loves a good story, right? We love to hear them, we love to tell them. And what about the stories that we tell ourselves, right? The stories that we tell ourselves about ourselves that lives deep in our subconscious and drives us as high achieving women to be who we are. And that's exactly what my story did for me. And it got me all the way to the top. It got me to being a senior law partner at my firm, being named one of the top personal injury lawyers in Canada for 4 years in a row. But it was also the story that took me down into the depth of burnout. The practice of law is a very traditional, extremely male-dominant, patriarchal world. So when I started talking about being burnt out, so many people kept saying to me, why don't you just slow down? Why don't you just take easy? Why do you have to keep working so hard? But that wasn't who I am. It's not, and I'm sure it's not a lot of the women who are in this room as well. So I had to try to find another way. And for me, that took me all the way back to the very first time I started telling myself my story, which was, I don't belong, I'm not wanted, and I'm not safe. And that was a story that started in me when I was a young child, and it lived inside of me for the rest of my life. And it drove me to being a very successful, overachieving, people-pleasing perfectionist. So once I understood what was actually driving me, that's when I started to learn how to rewrite my story. And I've turned it into one that now lets me live feeling fulfilled, inspired, resilient, and empowered. And that is what I teach other high achieving women to do.
Very cool. Very cool. I absolutely love it. People are smiling. They're on it. They get it. They're listening. Melanie Starr, please share.
Yeah. Thanks, Deb. And thank you so much. It's a real privilege and joy to be in this room with all of you amazing women and men as well. And Deb, you're always putting together these amazing events. Thanks so much. Stacy said something that just resonated with me so much when she talked about stories. It's my mission and passion. I'm a coach and healer. It's my mission and passion to help women navigate life's toughest transitions, which can be, divorce, death of a spouse, death of a child, career collapse, burnout, marriage problems, whatever that happens to be. So, of course, in that context, a great deal of my work focuses on stress and trauma, very specifically how stress and trauma live in the body, the nervous system, and in the stories we carry about ourselves, such as what Stacy was talking about. So what led me here from my previous 30-year career in communications is very personal. It's not a fun story, but around 2015, my life blew up into a 5-year storm. My 12-year-old daughter had lost her best friend to suicide and fell into a destructive downward spiral. Not long after, I discovered that my husband was entangled in an ongoing affair with someone I thought was my friend until their text conversation landed in my iPad by God wanted me to know. So it landed in my iPad, and quirk of fate ended my life as I knew it, right? So the kids and I left in 2016, but my daughter spiraled even further down into extremely severe anorexia nervosa, such as that she nearly died. And we spent several years navigating an epic level of dysregulation, crisis, and survival that really changes you on a fundamental level when you go through something like that. We pulled ourselves out through a deep explorations that we did together of energy healing, spiritual understanding, and body work that really transformed us both and our relationship. And that period of time made it very clear to me that if you're going to heal from something big, whether that's divorce or a friend killing themselves or whatever that happens to be, that the work is a whole lot deeper than at the mindset or even the emotional level. It's about the nervous system, what's stored in the body, and the patterns, such as people pleasing and over functioning and over performing, and how the beliefs get wired into us through experience over our life. And so that led me to develop my proprietary framework. I call it Reset to Reclaim, which helps women learn how to regulate their nervous systems and their systems to release stored survival energy and emotional weight, rewire their beliefs, their sense of what's possible, and realign, their habits, their entire, way of being and their energy to be aligned in a deeply embodied, experiential way so that they can come into a grounded, stable, and empowered way of living.
Thank you for sharing that. That's amazing. We're so appreciative of you being here and the work that you do. And I see that Pat's popped back in. So Pat, hello.
Hey there. Hello, and now back to regular programming. Hola, I'm Pat Albuquerque, a relevance, vitality, and longevity expert and mentor for women over 45. After decades of a great, wonderful experience in corporate, IT, and leadership roles, what I ended up learning is there were a lot of brilliant women that I was surrounded with and in middle management and up. And what I noticed, as successful as they were, quietly they were losing themselves. And you know what, Chica? That was me too. I was losing myself. And that was like a 2x4 in the head, for sure. And then on top of that, I was diagnosed with cancer for a second time, and my life changed overnight. I experienced firsthand what it's like to lose your vitality, your energy, your identity, and connection to yourself, to myself. That experience transformed my life and my mission. And so today I work with women over 45 to sustain the relevancy and vitality and longevity really in a way that is focused on self-leadership, living with intention, with confidence, with energy. Because what I know is that when women lose something, whether it's loss of health, which is what's mine, loss of a spouse, loss of a job, loss of a business, you lose some element of relevancy, vitality, and longevity. That's the big picture of what loss causes in our life. And what I've learned is over the 18 months that I healed, that this was something that I needed to teach and mentor women on. And that's what I do. That's what I do now. I teach and I mentor. Because what I've learned as we get older is that we don't lose our power. We become wiser, bolder, and more unstoppable.
All right. Let's leave it on that note.
Amazing.
Okay, let's go back to Carmel. What we want to know now that we know who you are, what we do, and we know you're going to put your information in the chat so everyone can follow up and dig in deeper. But Carmel, and the next question that I want to go around, and we're going to do a wrap up here, Carmel, is share with us something like, if you could share one thing If it was something at the core of what it is that you teach, it could be a testimony, it could be an experience yourself, and then wrap that up with, if you never hear from me again, the one thing I need you to know about what it is that I do, like what is it that's going to help everyone that's listening to us today. So Carmel, you kick us back off.
Okay. I'm going
All
to try
right.
to talk slower this time. I know when I come on the screen, sometimes I've got so much to say, I talk really fast. So I'm going to try and
Look, who are
bring
you
it
talking
down.
to? Have some yeah.
So this work, it uncovers patterns that we don't often realize are playing out in our lives, right? We only see the unfortunate results, and we don't understand why we're getting those results. So without understanding the source, we can't create the different results. So one example, great example that I have is from a client. We were working together on her mindset for mountain biking. And she was feeling a lot of fear when it came to riding bigger features, and it was holding her back. And the work we did really helped with that, but it also made a surprising improvement in her relationship with her partner. There were behaviors that she had with her partner that she was totally unaware of. And he noticed that she was changing as she went through this work. And she was so surprised. Like they talked about it and she was like, wow, I just had no idea. And so the work that we were doing, something completely different came out of it. So it was just really beautiful. And it reminded me of the saying that how you do one thing is how you do everything. You wouldn't think that tackling all your fears on a mountain bike would translate into a better relationship at home. But so many of the things we do when we look inside and figure out like what's going on in this crazy brain of ours, they have a ripple effect. The thing I would love to leave you with is that introspection, that looking inside and becoming aware is a beautiful first step. Don't be afraid. There's no, we all have gremlins in our head and they all need to be addressed. And it's not an overwhelming task. And it just brings you to a place of actually relating more authentically to yourself and to others and operating in a way that makes you really so much happier in your life. And gives you that sustainable success that you're looking for. So, yeah, that's what I'd love to leave people with.
That's a great story. We all were like, ooh, that's good. Dr. Melissa Balazan, over to you.
Right.
Thanks.
Same question for all of you.
Okay, so excuse me. Through my work, I don't just focus on symptoms, and I think that's one of the biggest differences. I teach practical tools for self-advocacy, stress management, healthier choices, and sustainable wellness. And I help my clients see that whole picture of their health, the physical, the mental, emotional, and spiritual, while reminding them of that small step creates lasting change. Many have come to me feeling exhausted, unheard, overwhelmed, or stuck. I walk alongside them. I inspire them. I coach them. I send them messages, text messages of inspiration and encouragement to my clients and help them realize that they have a voice, a choice, and more power over their health and life than they've ever believed possible. I can see the transformation in them when their healing begins, when they start being seen, understood, and heard and empowered. And so, one thing that I want you to remember today, you are not powerless. No matter what challenge you're facing, whether that be physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, your voice matters. Your health and your choices matter, and your story is not over. Healing and transformation don't happen all at once. They happen one small step at a time, one brave decision, and one moment of self-belief at a time. Never underestimate the power of advocating for yourself, believing in your worth, and choosing hope, even in difficult situations. Sometimes that smallest step forward becomes the beginning of the biggest transformation of your life.
Woo. Okay, mics are dropping all day. We did say expert panel. I should have put expert panel of powerful inspirational coaches. All right, Anahita, take it away.
Yeah, for me, when I work with my clients, we work as a team so that whatever I'm making for them, I'm designing for them, whether it's a website or it's a sequence of automated emails, it really aligns with what they want to, how they want to show up in the world with their clients. I have a client, Eva, that she came to me. She's a mortgage broker. She came to me that she wants to throw away her website and just work on social media, which this is completely wrong. Nobody should do that. But after talking to her, I realized that it's not about the website, it's how the website is designed because the designer didn't really take in consideration what Eva really liked. We did a quick rebrand. I redesigned her website, and now she is proud of her website, showing it off and working together with social media. And that takes me to, if you take one thing from me, is that your whole online presence should be cohesive, and there should not be a disconnect between your social media and your website, because if your social media is up to date and very fresh and nice and your website is from 2010, people will look at it and immediately there is a distrust that they don't know where it comes from. A lot of clients they consider websites like this crystal beautiful, and they just make it once and they believe that it stays like that, but it will disintegrate. It's static. I look at websites like this plant behind me. It needs nurturing to grow and flourish. So take care of your websites.
All right, thank you. These are all incredible, powerful tips. And let's go over to the money section. Sawi, what are we going to learn about money today?
Oh, this is wonderful. I felt when Carmel introduced herself earlier that I should just walk away because I think she kind of said it all. It's actually absolutely powerful. I think our gremlins sometimes takes us down some very interesting paths, and it reminded me about a talk that I gave recently about high growth companies. And I think as I work and I've moved from mentoring just staff, I spend a lot of time mentoring and coaching my clients these days. As we build these strategies, a lot of our clients these days are in high growth companies with growth rates of 4, 5, 6, 800% year over year. And that's insane. And so what happens is our clients are just feeling super overwhelmed as they look at these financials, and often cash flow, because it doesn't typically follow the paths that you would expect. And so we spend a lot, and I spend a lot of my time really coaching and mentoring my clients on what to expect, how to go through these stages. And one of the things that I actually said on one of these talks was, it takes a crazy CEO to go international. And it's a good kind of crazy because it's really exciting and you got to have the nerves. And everything that we talk about here today is really the fatigue that can set in. But with a good coach, we can really work with a client to help him mitigate those risks. What to expect, those weekly conversations, Deb, you and I have them frequently. How do we overcome that? What to see? How do we look at it? Let's make sure we look at this. Let's do that. Let's speak to the banker. Let's do that. Okay, what about that? What about staffing? And it's one of the things that our talent as a service clients really value as we look at resource planning. Did you think of this? What about, no, let's not go for a bookkeeper. Let's go for an accountant. Yes, you can afford it with talent as a service. You can't afford it with a full-time employee. And so we really strategically have those conversations because those are the things that make things very powerful. We are often being told, no, you can't. But I think it was Shiraz that said earlier on the men's panel, you can do anything you want. I was told very young that I can't do certain things, and I have loved that I've proven them wrong. And I love coaching and training, not just my staff, but my clients. Let's prove them wrong. Let's rock the stage.
Ooh, rock the stage. You're talking my language, girl. All right, we're wrapping this up. Let's go over to Melanie.
Thanks, Deb. So, in terms of inspiration, what really inspires me in the work that I do is that moment when a woman suddenly realizes that she's not broken, and it's just as if the sun was rising. You know, the dawning of awareness on her face, how she lights up. She sits up straighter and taller, and her voice even changes in that moment. And suddenly she starts saying things that I never thought, in my dreams that she would ever be saying these kind of things. And it's such a gratifying moment. I've been known to like jump up and start like, cheering right in that moment because it's such a beautiful moment when that happens. And in terms of a thought to leave you with, and I know that you women all know this, is that you already have everything that you need within you to not just heal and move on from a crisis, but to achieve entirely new levels of vitality, peace, freedom, joy, accomplishment, satisfaction, mission, all those things, and that you have this power in you. It's in your cells, it's in your thoughts, the words you speak, and the actions you take day after day. And we all have this power within us. Sometimes we might need guidance, we might need some doors opened, but we all have this within us.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Okay, Stacy Stevens, you got the microphone.
Thanks, Deb. It's so apparent after listening to everybody today. Everyone here is high achievers. There's absolutely no doubt about it. And in my experience, that also means that we're all driven to perform, right? We're all pushing through to prove, to keep up with who we are. But there's going to come a time when we realize that you just don't have the energy to keep proving anymore. And I think I had a client say this to me once, and I think it really sums things up, which is, this is what she said, for the first time in 20 years, I stopped performing in my own life. Everything on the outside, it stayed the same. The only thing that changed was that she started showing up as herself and for herself, instead of showing up as the person that she believed she had to be to succeed. So I'm just going to leave everyone with one question, which is the identity that built your success still the identity that you want to keep performing? Because it's that never-ending performance that's what really is burning you out.
Right.
I'm going to put my email in the chat. If anybody's interested in booking some time to speak with me, it's free. I'd love to continue the conversation. And the first 5 ladies or men who do, they'll get a free, beautiful 262 journal.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. And the journals are part of our fundraiser. So bonus everywhere around. And we've got some here that will show off as we go to our look at this, Lady in Purple. Thank you so much, Stacy, and thanks for supporting with the journals. We so appreciate, and lucky 5 that get to hang out with her. Pat, wrap us up, baby.
All right, baby. Okay, so the one piece of wisdom that I want you to walk away with, okay, get your pencil and paper out. You're going to want to write this down. Self-leadership is your secret to relevancy, vitality, and longevity. We spend so much time leading everybody else, and we don't lead ourselves. And when you start leading yourselves, it becomes a transformation. You love differently, you lead differently, and you live differently. It's about becoming more alive, more intentional, more you. More you. Because relevancy isn't something the world gives you. It's something that you choose to embody. And it begins with your self-leadership.
Okay. I mean, take a deep breath. Thank you all so very much for, first of all, accepting being on the expert panel. As you can tell, all of these women have vast and different and powerful things to bring into your personal life and your business life. So thank you so much. It's difficult, people, to take the crux of your work and put it into 2 questions that probably equal about 4.5, 5 minutes, because we love to get, we just really want to impart, and you all did that incredibly well. So thank you.